What's up, guys? Welcome to this gaming den. Today we are jumping into Pure Fiction Syntax Rule, just released for me today. So I just did this one, the number 4-3 earlier. Was able to get the perfect score with both my weakness break team and my with Lingsha DPS team and my DoT team. We're gonna attempt to use the same two teams in this one, as well as using auto battle for it, and just see if we can get away with that. I'm going to preface this with auto battle is really bad with Lingsha. It doesn't recognize her as a DPS a lot of times, and it's not something that I can easily without turning off auto battle. I can't really do anything about it, right? So basically what it does is it doesn't use her skill when it's available, right? And on it, she's the main one I want to burn the skill points on most of the time, because she's the bulk of the damage for the team, right? So and every time she uses her skill, it like action advances her bunny and stuff like that. It's kind of important that it does it, and unfortunately it doesn't always. So hopefully it will cooperate with us, because it didn't do too well on the previous. Well, it did well, but that was just because the team did well. During this, for this particular Pure Fiction, the grit mechanics revolve around DoT, so having a DoT team is quite nice. Gives more grit value, which the surging grit will also enhance your DoT, like I guess cause a flare up there, and then increase the damage received by 50%, etc. Right? It's very nice for DoT team. For the what do you call these? The little blessings, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. Whatever. The buffs. I'm using Torn Fabric, which is the from a DoT, gives you the extra weakness break efficiency and more grit value for weakness broken targets. And of course for DoT, I'm using the DOT1, allowing DOT to ignore defense and increases dot damage dealt with a stacking up to 99, right? Very nice. All right. Both of these teams are relatively low investment. I believe my Rume is
something ominous has arrived.
I think she's either E1 or E0. I don't know if I got one off that whenever she's on the free thing or not. But the only one I know for certain is E1 is Lingsha. She was E1. But yeah, I don't use break. I don't even have a break DPS. Well, I mean, unless you count Lingsha. So I am going to. I do enjoy using her whenever I can, just to kind of mess around. Plus, it's nice to dust off the old break team every once in a while and put into use. I know the Dahlia is coming up, so I'm sure that break archetype lovers are going to enjoy having a new unit. Hopefully, will give some new life into a meta or a previous archetype that's struggling, right? So I would be happy to see it personally. Even though I'm not the biggest fan of break, I don't want break to just die, right? People like it. So all right. This team is still gonna, it synergizes really well with the new with the buff, right? So you're still gonna get some grit value and all that jazz. And as long as you are breaking, like there's tons, like you have Fuse, you have HMC, and then you have Rame extending the breaks, all that goodness. So they are able to do decent damage, despite, frankly, my break team's not too good. I don't have the best builds compared to some of my other teams, but they're within like tolerance. But I definitely need to give them some love for sure. Obviously, the goal right now is to hope I can get 3 stars on auto battle. I'm not counting on a perfect score, especially on auto battle. I'm sure if we watch Lingsha enough, you're gonna see that it will use a skill or use an attack when it should have used a skill. It also has 0 awareness. Autobot has 0 awareness of using the pet's turn order. Like it should have let her pet go ahead and attack right there, but whatever. So at least the pet's going now. Sometimes it'll keep sending stuff, and it'll actually advance Leech's action up ahead of her pet, which will waste that pet's turn. That's kind of annoying too. But despite those issues, the team is actually doing okay. We want ideal minimum. We really want 30,000 points at a minimum here. So we'll see if we can do it.
Yeah. Everything in this world is bleeding. Dream vanished.
Yeah, we will see. I actually don't know if this one's gonna work out, but
Dreams do come true.
even if we're a little bit shy, we can technically make it up. Oh, let's see. No, we can't. Oh no, yeah. Oh yeah, we can technically make it up as long as we're above 20k. But that would mean that the other team would have to do near perfect, and that's not ideal, right? So hopefully things will get running a little bit more smoothly here, and we'll be able to take off. Most of these enemies here are weak to fire, and I will note that if we can get to Cocolia or whatever, Lingsha actually does really well against her. She counters her freezing and all that other stuff, and Cocolia is fire weak. So there is all that kind of working for this team, right? Now I actually don't know if I should have used Gallagher instead of like either Ronmei or HMC, but whatever. I'm just kind of going with this team. I think my Gallagher needs a bit more work than these guys do anyway, but he's still able to. I've used him before in game stuff. He's fine. But these guys are taking these hits pretty well, aren't they? All right. Oh yeah, they also auto battle will mess up timings on ults and other stuff like that sometimes too. But at least my HMC does have DDD, so she does get to help with that action advance and stuff like that.
Let the show begin.
All right. Should be able to move on to the next wave now. Cocolia at last.
Dance once more.
Oh, okay. That didn't. We didn't do anything to her yet, so the team's not gonna do much until you start getting them ready to break more and stuff.
It's fine. Be of your body and mind. Let the show begin.
We did clear 20k points at least.
Let's improvise.
But we'll see what we can do. Let's see, what do we got? 24k. Oof. That is going to be gotta get at least 36k. Okay. Anyway, my DoT team is a little bit, it's quite a bit better statted, and they're also this content does, or this particular pure fiction synergizes much better with DoT. So hopefully we'll get this stuff to work with us there, especially once we get all stacked up and stuff from the stage buff. That said, I haven't really used DoT against Lygus before, so that is going to be a little interesting. Normally I just power through Lygus with Castris, and it's a very easy time. This team is a little bit better on auto battle, so that is a plus. But again, we gotta make up a lot of points, and that's gonna be a little tough. We gotta basically hope we can clear it. Because yeah, it's
time to say bye.
if we manually controlled the break team, obviously we probably could have gotten a lot more value out of like Lingsha and stuff like that.
Be intoxicated. Relax.
And just proper timings in general. But you know, the whole point of this is to try to do this on auto battle. You know, make this as least effort as possible while still getting our asteroid, right? from the 3 stars. So that's the main thing. And, you know, it's kind of fun just to see if I can put together a team good enough to do it on auto battle. Especially like some lower investment teams and stuff like that. Like, while yes, these are limited units, everyone in this team are SE0. And only Hysolence is holding a signature. My Kafka is still a little bit too slow. She's close, but she's a little bit too slow. Ideally, you want to target. I think it's like 160 speed, 180 speed, somewhere around there, right? And I'm like 9 points shy of whatever it was. Got like 1% left on this thing, wasn't there? Oh, I guess we just gotta kill off these last members here, maybe? Okay. Alright. Now Lycus. At least he'll start us off with the, you know, the stage buff. Good old Woa. You know, I'm so glad I did get her. She is still E0, doesn't have her signature, but she's been amazing lately though. You know, like she fits into so many different teams. Like she's almost still worth getting. Almost. I wouldn't say she's more valuable than Hyacinth, but it's still she's big for a lot of different teams, especially like hyper carries and stuff like that, right?
Time to say bye. Boom.
Boom. Okay, yeah, we got to rip through quite a bit of health in order to clear this in time. Okay, what's cool about this, right, is she'll go and then Kafka should follow up, and which will charge Kafka up more, right, and then Kafka gets her ult going. It's a nice little just combo that Kafka has going here. The whole name of the game here is getting Kafka to fire off as many ults as possible, right? How many ults can Kafka fire off? Because she flares up dots, but then the stage is also doing dot flare-ups, right? So it's a nice little thing here. High ceilings is just delivering damage though. High ceilings was such a nice addition.
Fiends or devils, I'll crush them all.
Alright.
Stand still.
Hopefully our girl Hoa will be able to live. She has a little bit ways to go. We are actually, it looks like we're tracking for 60k though. As long as we don't have a lot of people die, we might be okay. Because the stop is working out really well. Mind you, Black Swan, she still offers like the general buffs, or like the damage increases their damage taken, right, or their defense reduction, something like that, with her Arcana stack. So she still has like significant amounts to offer the team. Okay, looks like they did live. I'm used to anomaly arbitration, I think, because I felt like that was going to hurt a lot worse. All right, I mean, we'll see. We might even kill him. I don't know. It's going to be close on that one. But we will definitely make the 60k points here, right? Like right now. Yep. There we go. Okay, so we got our 3 stars. Now we're just going to see if we can't, you know, down him. We're not going to get a perfect score, right? Because we only got 24k on the first half. 40k is the max per side, right? But we can try for 40k on this side. Ooh. Whoa. Oh, she almost went down. High ceilings.
Stand still.
Alright, there we go. Get our ults rolling again. I just need Woa to take an action and we'll be okay. and she's coming up soon. No! What? Oh, okay, well. So, I freaked out for a moment. So, while what was skill going, like, you see the little, her skill on her icon there going, nice, we done it. While what was skill going, every time they do take an action, they heal themselves, technically. But, it's, I was thinking that Wolf was going to take that action. I didn't even pay attention to the boss's health. I thought Wolf was going to heal them. But they turned out they were a little healthier than I thought after, but their turn came around. But yeah, we got a perfect score on one side, on side 2 with their DOT team. And again, you could bring this up to, I would say at least 30k, a lot higher if you would just, if if you could just play it, that same team. Because it's just so bad on auto battle, honestly. Like the pet, the bunny, it loses a lot of actions with auto battle, and as well as Lingsha, they won't always skill with her because it recognizes her as a healer, and a lot of times the logic will only skill or like use a skill point with a healer if they need to heal. It's it kind of ruins it a little bit, but that it still ended up working out though, right? The DOT team was just so good this time around. Definitely loved it. Even without high ceilings, as long as you have Kafka and either Black Swan or high ceilings, you're going to be fine. Kafka is the main like cog in the machine for DOT right now. As long as you have Kafka, you can make DOT work. Without Kafka, it's going to get a lot tougher. Her Kafka just does so much. I mean, if you have high ceilings and Black Swan, you'll still probably be okay, but it won't see the same level of performance for sure. All right, now let's take a look at the 2 teams that we used, just real quick to kind of let you know where I'm at and what ideal stat threshold you'll need to hit for these teams and to kind of make them work. So I did want to use more relatable teams. Since my caster's team is mostly E2 except for Hyacinth, I was trying some lower investment teams this time around. Obviously, Castress destroys Lygus, so honestly, she destroys whoever she's fighting. So just whatever you're up against, Castress should be fine. But anyway, High Ceilings, one of my more loved additions that they added recently, especially because I love DoT. DoT does not care about crit very much. Really, DoT primarily cares about attack, speed, and effect hit rate thresholds. Each one has like different thresholds they may want to hit, but so like some of my stats I did, like she should be faster, but I sacrificed some speed to try because I had some poor rolls, right? I had to get effect hit rate. So you want above 3600 attack for your damage dealing DOT. I'll show you the light cones, but basically it has a threshold to buff DoT based on your attack. Speed, I want more than 133 to be honest, but for now this is what I got. And then 120 effect hit rate. I do have her, like I said, she was the one I had the signature on. Gives her a nice bonus effect hit rate along with just more dot damage and attack speed. So that does help offset her slightly lower speed. Yeah, Trace Max. So the standard DOT set for damage dealers, Kafka is no longer, you don't build her like a damage dealer anymore, but we'll cover that when we get there. Anyway, so the old prisoner set, it's the only real relic set that buffs dots, ignores defense for a max of 3 dots, and then gives you an attack buff. And then the newer Revelry planar set, which gives you the based on your attack, if you have 300 or 3600 attack, you'll get 24% more dot damage. So very much worth it. As stated, she is E0. All right, moving on to Kafka. Actually, I'm going to first go with Black Swan. Black Swan's built very, very similar to High Ceilings because basically just another dot DPS. I'm aiming for the 3600 attack threshold, as much speed as I can get away with for now, while keeping my ER
Disguise your
to or
worthless
effect hit rate
destiny.
to I guess that's EH anyway, to 120%. I'm a little higher, but whatever. I'm using this for the additional effect hit rate and of course the dot damage. This Eyes of Prey is actually a fairly decent light cone. There are better if you have your effect hit rate where already at 120% roughly, then you can go with a different light cone. Like if you have Kafka's signature, like that's fine. Or obviously if you have her own signature. The Kafka signature does not give effect hit rate, so it in this case she wouldn't have enough hit effect hit rate to make it worth it. Yeah, so I don't have her attack thing leveled up, but honestly I'm skilling almost all the time with her anyway, so it doesn't matter as much. That said, I wouldn't mind getting this just to have it ready. But other than that, all my traces are maxed. Same set as High Sea Lens, so all the same rules apply to that. And E0 as well. On to Kafka. Kafka, if you have not, since she had a rework, right? So that also means that to use her optimally, you needed to rebuild her as well, like change her set. She no longer wants to use the DoT DPS set. As you can still do it, but it's better if you actually treat her like what she is, which is a DoT support. DoT like support sub DPS, right? You don't really care about crit, just like every other DoT. Now my speed is about 8 points too low. I want 160, but I just haven't got the speed rolls yet. So I'm working on that. She doesn't have the same planar, so she doesn't need the 3600 attack. That said, as much attack as possible is nice. She still needs some amount of effect hit rate, but not quite as much, right? And she actually wants this, the event light cone, which you can now get from the Herda store, that Silverwolf used to want. Nowadays, actually, Silverwolf has other light cones she much prefers. This one isn't nearly as good for Silverwolf as it used to be after Silverwolf's rework, which, by the way, Silverwolf's rework is made her insanely good as well, just like Kafka. So it worked out nice though, because I still got to use this amazing light cone. Gives her 40% additional effect hit rate, and then gives her, this is the important part, when she attacks defense reduced enemies, she regenerates 8 energy. The whole, as I stated earlier during the fight, the name of the game with Kafka is how many times she can ult. More energy means more ulting, right? I have all of her traces maxed out. Just ensuring that you can fire off her ult is just super important, right? Immediately take damage from their current DoT debuffs equal to 120% of the original damage, whatever shot. So yeah, you just want to make sure that she's just firing this ult off as much as possible, honestly. The follow-up attack is still nice. The biggest plus of the follow-up attack is that it gives you ult charge. Her skill's also quite. You almost are never going to want to attack with her, right? Because her skill's super valuable too. So her new relic sets. Well, they're not new, but for her they're new. You basically want one of the ones that have energy regeneration on it, and the Lushaka is one of them. But what's nice about Lushaka is that it also has it provides the first member in the lineup with 12% attack bonus, which is obviously nice for DoT, right? Because DoT doesn't benefit from like crit and stuff like that. So, but it does one attack. So giving high ceilings more attack is quite nice. If you don't have high ceilings, then just throw Swan up there, and that works out well too. And then her relic set. You don't care about the 10% wind damage. That's not why you have this set. It's the action advance after you use her ult. She is firing her ult off like crazy, and every time she fires it off, she gets an action advance, which is obviously quite amazing. Just like all the others, I don't have any Adolins for her either. And then, probably the worst built of them, but then again, she's the most lenient of them too. She's not going to do a ton of damage, so I don't really care about building her for damage. You want HP and speed. Obviously, I need more speed with her, but 134 is like one of the thresholds, right? So having that is okay. I believe I have a planar set that needs the effect resistance. For now, I'm using the 4-star light cone here just for the energy regeneration. She does not get any value from the second half of this, because her ult doesn't heal. So 16% extra energy regeneration. Yeah, I haven't fully maxed out her skill thing yet. The reason why you want this is because the 40% extra attack and the 20% extra energy for the whole team, right? So it's quite nice, right? Relics. I honestly just have her with hacker space. I actually am not 1% not 1% certain. If so, this says when the wearer uses their ultimate on an ally, speed for all allies increased by 12%. I don't know if that ult counts because it's on the ult is being used on all allies, and I don't know if there's some weird stipulation there. I'd have to actually double check that one, but whatever. If it doesn't work that way, then honestly just say two piece is fine with her. Getting more speed or something like that. Either more speed or more heals. For the most part, her healing is usually fine. But there are some dicey moments where like your team isn't quite fast enough. You might not get the heals needed in time. That's the only real risk. So that her biggest healing stipulation is that whoever got hit with her skill, right, has that buff on it, and those members have to take action so they can heal themselves basically with that passive effect she put on them. Let's see. When ally's turn starts, or after, when an ally uses ultimate, it restores HP for that ally by X amount of her HP. Also, yeah, keeping her HP up high is kind of important too, because you obviously want to be able to heal. That is her role outside of buffing. Now, her relic set is dated though. Like she 100% needs an update. Mine isn't the greatest. I do have Fleet of the Ageless for the max HP buff and the party-wide attack buff. She has a 120 speed needed. Once again, E0. Okay. Moving on to the other team, our break team. This one has some things that are going for a bit more, but the build on them is a little bit weaker. Like you could 100% get a better build. So break, kind of like DoT, is a little bit easier to build. Except they just like DoT, they want attack and speed, but instead of effect hit rate, they want break. I've seen Lingshas with much higher break effect than mine, so obviously just getting this higher would make your Lingsha perform better. Her heals also scale off of her break, if I remember correctly, but they also scale off her attack. So, getting both is ideal. And just making her as fast as possible would be nice. I do have her light cone. So, ideally, you shouldn't be attacking a whole lot, but again, this is auto battle, and auto battle forgets, so that's why I haven't bothered increasing this last one yet. But since it's auto battle doing it, I might go ahead and bump this up at some point. Other than that, all her other traces are maxed, except for her normal attack. I do have her traditional set, right? Her older set. There are sets for healers that can like work out better, but in her case, I'm using her with the break team, so I needed her on her break set and all that stuff, right? If you're not using her in a break capacity, then putting her on like the newer healer sets and stuff would probably be more ideal. I'm wanting to see the set here real quick. Warrior Goddess of Sun and Thunder, or something like that. The High Ceiling set. There's one of hers that are nice. It's either that set or the Planar that provides like a party-wide like crit damage effect. And while she doesn't care about crit damage, her team might, if she's not being used in a break team. As I mentioned, she is E1. Okay, Fuge. I don't have her light cone, so I just got the Hertastore light cone. Good old Hertastore, just for the extra, break, and it's actually not awful, especially if she can put her DoT on the enemies, then she can get some more energy. Her speed is obviously a little bit better than Lingsha's right now, but I do need it. She suffers in like the attack area and stuff like that, because I'm kind of just using her in her capacity as a support role. I do want to bring her attack up so that her ult is capable of doing decent damage, right? So, but she mostly will scale off her break effect, right? So her break effect is okay. And she does actually want effect hit rate to some degree. So she's a little bit more demanding than some, but then again, the trade-off is you don't have to care about her attack as much. I am behind on her traces, so rip, but I'll end up fixing that at some point for sure. Yeah, I'm just giving her as much break effect as possible, so two piece. And I do have her E1 as well. I had run May well before break came out. She doesn't care about speed very much. In fact, I think it's kind of, you don't want her to come out of her ult too quick, right? So having somewhat slower speed is okay with her. I got some break effect on her though, of course, and I'm trying to keep her energy up a bit. I do have her signature. It's very easy to obtain nowadays, right? Because it's in the store. It's in that you can trade those little thingies for. I know, I think they hand some out for free, but or maybe some events, but they also have them on like the battle pass as well, stuff like that, right? They have various ways of obtaining those. You can trade for a Lycone, but her Lycone is okay. Gives a 60% break with the damage increase for the team, and then energy as well. Mind you, it's start of each wave, so it's not like amazing, but it's there. Traces, I've had her forever, so yeah. Half the time she's holding, but I probably should do this, but she just doesn't really do any damage, so I don't care as much. This, yeah, I just have. What am I doing here? Huh. Okay, so yeah, I have her stuff really messed up right now. um, I doesn't look like I have a proper planar set on her. Yeah, I have like a broken keel and a Pinnaconny. Okay, yeah, so obviously I need to fix that. But despite that, that team in auto battle doesn't do as well, but they still cleared, right? And frankly, they would have cleared much better if I actually just played that team. But again, the whole point of the challenge was to try to do it on auto. Other than that, though, yeah, the Watchmaker set is fine. Let's see. When Ware uses ultimate on an ally, I think this. I'm not sure if it's fine actually. I'll take that back. I'll have to double check if if party wide ultimates count for that. If it is, then cool. If not, then I just need to use like a two piece or something. Unless I can find a good like buff set. I honestly I'll just have to check her because I haven't updated her like since Pinnaconny. And then yeah, I've had this one a long time ago, like whenever she released, right? So initially it was actually really good, her E1, but there's better ones nowadays, right? Okay, let's see. Oh, Harmony MC. I have not updated this since we left Pinnaconny. Like I said, I wasn't initially big on break. Whenever we switched to RMC, I just left her on as the remembrance for a while, right? Because it's overall just better, accepted on break teams, of course. Yeah, anyway, with her, you don't care as much about her own personal damage, but getting some speed is nice. Ideally, you want more than this, but is what it is, right? I think you want to shoot for like 180, but 160 is what I got for now. Have some break. I could probably do better. I mostly want to fire off my ult so that I can get action advance, right? Because DDD advances all allies by 24%. Very, very powerful icon. Oh yeah, her traces still need a little bit of work, but for the most part they're okay. There's consideration to use two piece on her for the more break effect or maybe even more speed, but for now I'm just keeping her with this. The Talia one is actually kind of nice for the extra just raw break because she's not a fire, and I'm aware that a lot of times you're using break, you're using them against fire, but this can ultimately bring out more break effect if you're not fighting someone weak against fire. Alright, yeah. And that is it for my teams. Hope you guys enjoyed, and good luck on your clears.